Hello, my name is Erica Thomason, and this is a second grade lesson plan called Animal Resources in the Rainforest. This lesson plan was inspired by the second grade Life Sciences Colorado Academic Standard. Within this standard, students must understand that organisms depend on their habitats, non-living parts, to satisfy their needs. Throughout this lesson, students will use evidence to develop a scientific explanation about how organisms depend on their habitat. Throughout this activity, every student will be able to categorize things in their environment as living or non-living during a class nature walk. Identify an animal that lives in the rainforest after looking through classroom National Geographic magazines in small groups. Research scientific information about their animal, including diet, sleep pattern, and family unit size, either on the internet or in rainforest books. This research will help them determine what their animal needs to survive in the rainforest. Finally, they will create an illustration of the animal in their natural environment and present it in front of the class. For this lesson, you will need butcher paper, various reference books, markers, access to the internet, and about 10 to 15 minutes of class time for about a week. I imagine that this would be the second lesson in a living and non-living things unit. The first lesson would include a nature walk, where students labeled things that were living and non-living in and around their homes. As an anticipatory set for this rainforest lesson, I would have the students talk about what they learned about living and non-living things in the previous lesson. In order to get the students to continue thinking about the differences between living and non-living things, we will watch this YouTube video and learn the song. After the video, I intend to conduct a small lesson on the rainforest. First, I will talk about where they are located in the world. Then I'll talk about their weather patterns. And finally, which animals live there. Before moving on to the project, I will ask the class how they are doing and give them time to ask questions. If there are a lot of questions, I will ask students to write them down and hand them in so that I can either answer them throughout the day or create another lesson to answer their questions. Next, I will explain the project to the class. In order to accomplish this part of the lesson, students will first need to get into small groups of about 2 to 3 people. Then, the group must choose one animal that lives in the rainforest and conduct research to find out what their animal needs to survive. After they have their information, the groups must make a poster that illustrates their animal in their habitat and label the living and non-living things it needs. Finally, each group will present their poster to the class in order to demonstrate their understanding of the topic. After explaining the project, I will let the students get into groups and start working. Throughout their work time, I will be walking around the class, answering questions, and monitoring their progress. If this project is too difficult for some students, I will allow them to choose an animal that they are more familiar with. But they will still be expected to create a poster with that animal in their environment and label the living and non-living things. If this project is too easy for students, I will encourage them to pick 2 living things that reside in the rainforest. They will then have to explain how they interact with each other and their environment. For example, the poison dart frog eats ants. So students can make a poster that shows what the poison dart frog needs and what the ant needs to survive in the rainforest. When the projects are completed, students will have to present their poster to the class. I intend to use this rubric to assess them on their understanding of the topic and their effective use of class time. And that concludes my lesson. Thanks for watching.